So I guess the first question is, how has the team responded this week at practice after suffering its first league loss last week in Central Catholic?
Well, we started off pretty well. I'd say it's probably mixed right now. Coming off of being our third practice now that we've gotten under our belts. I wouldn't say it's our best week of practice by any means. It's always hard to go through a game preparing so hard for a game like last Friday, and then have the outcome be what it was, and then be able to come back with a really stellar week of practice is kind of hard. So it's a little bit understandable, disappointing nonetheless, but we're still focused on what's going on Friday and with Hilmar on senior night. So we got to bounce back. We can't have peaks and valleys. We got to have a constant climb for Friday.
Being that was in essence a championship game for the Western Athletic Conference, what did you tell the boys after that game, and how did you kind of help boost some morale heading into this week?
Well, the first thing was we knew we had clinched a playoff spot prior to that, so we knew we had a finish-up league game this week, and then we also have a playoff game, which our opponent, it seems like all indications are going to be Sierra, but for whatever reason it could change. Stranger things have happened with the section, so we're anticipating anybody, but at the same time we're kind of going over what worked well and what didn't work well with Sierra the first time, so we have a little bit of a head start if that is indeed the case that we're playing. But the biggest thing was we have 2 more games minimum, and we're still continuing the season through playoffs. It's a winner go home situation, but the season didn't end last Friday. It was obviously very disappointing, championship game and not playing our best and that type of thing, and coming out on the losing end. But that wasn't the end of our season. We weren't turning in pads the next day. We're not talking about the awards banquet and moving on and playing basketball quite yet. So we just got to keep working. We have a big game with senior night, and it's a good night for our guys to be at home that one last time, and especially the guys that have been here for 4 years. So they've been working hard through the program, and it's a good chance for us to showcase them in front of their home crowd for one more time against Hilmar. So we're excited for that.
The proverbial elephant in the room in regards to the Hilmar game right now is they're missing their starting number 1 quarterback, and having to start their JV quarterback. What in any way, or how in any way does this affect the game from your point of view?
Well, realistically, our defensive game plan, going in isn't really going to change much. McCown and Olsen are very capable quarterbacks, and Olsen as a sophomore has been practicing with the JV, with the varsity and varsity staff, throughout the year. So he knows the system. It's a very similar system. He knows what the reads are on any given play and that type of thing. And Frank Marcus and his staff, they know what they're doing. They're going to coach him up just like if it was a number 1 quarterback. And then essentially he is the number 1 quarterback from here on out. And so it's unfortunate, that McCown has the injury that he got, and they have to make the switch. But he's going to rise to the challenge, with Olsen. Our guys are going to do the same and come in and rise to the challenge to finish up league, on top. And so defensively for us, it realistically nothing really changed, because it's not like they're going to change systems overnight. It's just another piece of the puzzle. Another guy they just plug in, and it's a testament to their program. So, and on offense, it really isn't going to change much for them as well, because McCown was playing some safety for them. They'll move some guys around. I don't anticipate Olsen playing much safety for them, but they've got guys that are repped in and can do the job. So, anticipating what they're going to come out and do to us defensively is probably going to be pretty similar to what we've seen all year, and personnel-wise, that type of thing.
All right. There are a handful of players remaining from last year's team. Not many, but a handful that no doubt remember, losing to Hilmar a couple times last year, including once in the postseason. Anyone coming into this game with a chip on their shoulder?
Yeah, I think everybody, realistically, from our standpoint, we had guys that were on the team last year that lost to Hilmar twice. The first one being a close game. We have a game time field goal that gets called back, and so that was a real close one. And then losing the way we did in the playoffs in the semifinals, yeah, they're going to be playing with a chip on their shoulders. And then at the same time, our guys that were on the JV last year, they didn't come out on top last year against Hilmar at the end. So they've got some unfinished business that they feel they have. And so I think everybody will be playing with a chip on their shoulder. It's sometimes easier to play an opponent coming off of a loss, as opposed to, you beat somebody already, and now you're going to play them again. And there's a comfort factor sometimes there, and you get lost in it. So having lost to these guys twice last year is just adds to our motivation a little bit more, and comes out a little bit more. Guys are a little bit more enthusiastic coming out and a little bit more energetic coming out of the gate. So we're looking forward to that, just as they are, the same time. They don't want to come in here and lose the last game of the year heading into playoffs. They want to have some higher seedings in terms of playoffs for them, because their division is going to be pretty tough. And, the more wins they can get, the better for them. And so it'll be good. We've always had great games. This is going to be the 8th time we played them in 7 years. And, with myself. And so, we're looking forward to it. We're looking forward to a good game.
All right. There are some similarities between, your style of football, their style of football. What can we expect to see from Hilmar on Friday?
Man, defensively, they get after it. That's probably their biggest thing. They're not going to have the biggest guys. They never really have. They haven't really had big teams in recent times. So they make up for it with their speed. They make up for it with their gang tackling and aggressive style and that type of thing. So that's going to be their MO on defense. On offense, yeah, they're very similar to what we do. Try to spread you out. Shotgun a lot. Try to keep things balanced. Try to keep the defense on its toes a little bit with run and pass, and it could be 50-50 on first down, that type of thing. So our goal is going to be to try and put them in those long situations. We want to get them in the second and longs. We want to get them into the third and longs. And so our first down, realistically for both of us, with their aggressive defense, the key to this whole thing is going to be what happens on first down for either team. If we can control first downs, then we're going to come out on top, I think, because you're going to be setting ourselves up a little bit more for those third and shorts, second and shorts, and that kind of thing. So it's going to be a mirror image a little bit here and there, but I think there's good matchups for everybody around the whole field.